Melon. According to the next video I'm doing, it is all about self-expression. And one of the ways that I like to express myself is through music. I am so excited about this video because every morning I have been getting up, and I've learned about the chakras a long time ago, but every morning I get up and I just kind of go through and I just pick quick highlights about the different chakras just to kind of remind myself of what I want to talk about. And I am very excited because finally it has all connected for me. And I'm very excited to be able to go through this process with you and through this awakening with you, because I have realized some things. And I've always been somebody, as a mystic, you are somebody who is able to draw connections to lots of things. Almost everything in the universe is unified in some kind of way. And I have been able to draw many connections today based on the throat chakra. A lot of people think that it is only about communication and self-expression. But when I actually looked deeper into it, I found out that it is the region of divine sound. And that correlates very well to Tolkien's Silmarillion idea about the creation of the Middle Earth and how Eru Ilúvatar made the entire Middle Earth using music. This very much resonates with me, and I want to talk about it today. The throat chakra is actually known as the Vishuddha, which is a Sanskrit word for it. And in English, it means especially pure. So the throat chakra, to me, has always been the place of divine truth. It is where you are able to express yourself as a divine soul. And if that area is blocked, it's going to be harder for you to be your authentic self. So especially pure really makes a lot of sense to me, because everything that you speak of, if your heart chakra is open and if all the other chakras are aligned, and if you have that kundalini energy going through you and rising up, and you have these opened chakras, you are going to be able to speak your divine truth, your authentic truth. Those that have that area blocked will feel that they don't have a voice, and sometimes they hide what they are truly thinking and they don't say what they are thinking. And this comes from past experience of being in traumatic events which cause you to either think that your opinion doesn't matter, or that you are silenced because maybe people have told you, not to talk, and maybe you have been abused for even speaking your mind. So this is a time, if you really want to focus on that area, to unblock all of that divine truth within you. Throat chakra is located, once again, in the subtle body, because we are now completely in the spiritual fields of consciousness. So it is in the subtle body behind the throat, and it is a governance over the eyes, the ears, the thyroid, and what we call the Adam's apple. And there must be some kind of spiritual connection there with Adam's apple. As we know, Adam was the first being that was said to be on earth, and he gave everything a name that you see on earth, and then civilization developed a language around it. So there has been some indication that the Adam's apple was named that because that is the area of self-expression and communication. So I thought that was really interesting. The other thing is it has 16 petals. So we're starting to get a lot more petals with our flowers. So imagine a 16 petal image of a lotus flower, really beautiful light blue turquoise. It is associated with very light colors, light blue or a light green. It is the area of self-expression and self-enjoyment, being able to talk about the feelings that you feel in your heart and be able to express it. If that area is blocked and your heart chakra is opened, then that just means that you feel things in your heart that you feel that you're not able to speak about. So the next step is, as soon as your heart opens, then if you truly want to awaken further, you really need to be able to divinely express it in some kind of way. You don't have to necessarily tell everybody, but you can do it in lots of ways. You could do it through painting, you could do it through song, you could do it through telling a friend, you could do it through writing in a diary, some kind of way of getting out those bottled feelings inside of you, because that is very purifying. It's very cleansing when you release all of those pent-up emotions and feelings through the throat chakra. So let's get into some very interesting ideas about this area. I found this on Deepak Chopra's website, and this is what it says about it. Authentic expression is not something that comes easily. There's a delicate dance between saying what you mean and staying tactful or diplomatic. Often it's easier to say what the other person may want to hear instead of speaking your truth. Fear of not being accepted or judgment from the other may hinder your truthful verbal expression. Work on the lower chakras will help prepare you for this level of communication. For example, when you align the first and second chakras, it helps with overcoming fears. Opening the third chakra helps you to feel your personal power and have the confidence to express yourself. Knowing what's in your heart comes when you align the fourth chakra, your heart, and then when it comes to verbalizing your needs, desires, opinions, you're better able to determine how to be truthful to yourself and others. So I thought that was really beautiful and right on about all the ideas of authentic truth. So when you go a little bit further and you actually really think about the idea of sound, and what I have found out is that this particular area, according to the Vedas, is associated with ether. Now, the element of ether is known as the fifth element. It is something that is beyond the earth, and it is said to be the energy that moves throughout all the celestial bodies. It's something that can't quite be quantified yet, but Tesla himself was very interested in ether, and he had a beautiful quote I would like to read right here. All matter comes from a primary substance, the luminiferous ether. So he imagined that everything that we see that is matter actually comes from this divine luminous source of energy called ether. And he was almost obsessed with trying to utilize ether in some kind of way and to provide the free energy using ether and electrical currents. This is something that our world is still learning more about, but people who are aware of the idea that frequencies and vibrations create the universe, then ether is mainly responsible for even creating those vibrations and those frequencies in the first place. Here's another quote by Richard Wagner. I am convinced that there are universal currents of divine thought vibrating the ether everywhere, and that any who can feel these vibrations is inspired. I thought that was really great. So ether is that fifth element that is beyond our terrestrial space. It is something that is beyond time and beyond space. It is the energy that is unknown, that is responsible for flowing in and out in circular motions and spiral motions throughout the universe and creating even the movement of the celestial bodies that you see. Some people would even maybe say that ether is the God energy or the God spirit. It is really hard to say what is beyond even ether, but that was what the throat chakra is actually able to connect to, is that divine center of divine source and divine vibration. So that's why when you speak, it's important to know that whatever words that you speak, whatever comes out of your mouth is in essence a vibration or a frequency that you are putting out into the world. So yes, thoughts that come out as words are energy, and they have a lot of power behind them. And that's the whole idea about magic, and especially with the Elven language as well. When Arwen was speaking her Elvish language, when the wraiths were coming to take Frodo, she was able to call for the wild water horses in order to drown the wraiths. That type of indication of the power behind words is there. So the throat chakra is more than just your throat and just your thyroid that helps produce the hormones throughout your body and then regulates the metabolism and helps you go through puberty. It is something even more powerful, and humans are only starting to understand the power behind words and music and sound through the study of cymatics. So cymatics is actually the study that sound actually has this innate physical law to it that actually can create physical matter. So if you have seen any of those experiments where they use sound to move the patterns of salt and things like that, that is what it's doing, is it's playing with the idea of sound and vibration is able to move physical matter. So very much like the Silmarillion, it seems like Tolkien was way ahead of his time as a visionary and was able to understand that sound does move things. And just a side note, there has been many different messages from extraterrestrials, and I know, and I've known about it, that the idea is spaceships move with sound vibration. So if people are trying to find out how to make flying cars happen through natural resources, they're going about it the wrong way. It's actually through harnessing sound and vibration. So here's a great quote by Edgar Cayce, one of my favorite historical figures. He was a mystic and astrologer, and he was just somebody that I feel that was really a visionary and really understood the way that the universe works. So here he says, "The cosmos was formed according to and upon the basis of laws which are expressed as music, arithmetic, and geometry. They bring about harmony, order, and balance." So this is something that you definitely see in Silmarillion about the idea of music creating the universe. So as you can see in this picture here that I posted for you to see, you can see all the different types of ways that different notes in the piano can actually vibrate and make different shapes. And that's the theory behind string theory. And so when I was going through my chakra alignment idea of using the different notes within the 7 scales to correlate to the 7 chakras, and I talk about how each of the notes kind of correlate to a different chakra. And, although I cannot see it, I intuitively understand that each note has a different vibration and a different frequency. And as you can see in the image here, that is what it shows. And this is actually the secret behind the idea of prayer and daily affirmations. When you speak something forward into the ether, it will help to relieve you of some pent-up emotions and feelings and desires, and very much can be what is responsible for bringing the results into your life that you are seeking. Because words do have energy behind them, as they are sound. They do vibrate into the universe. So I'm going to leave you with a quote here from J.R.R. Tolkien in the Silmarillion about this idea of how the throat chakra and the music that came from the Anurs actually created the Middle Earth. "It is said by the elder that in the water there lives yet the echo of the music of the Anur, more than in any substance that is in this earth, and many of the children of the Iluvatar hearken still, unsated, to the voices of the sea, and yet know not what they listen." I did my guided meditation, and I take you into the Elven lands, and I allow you to get in touch with the moving river, because intuitively understood that the water, the movement of the water, kind of symbolizes the expression of the voice. So you can find that guided meditation in the description, and I will help you to open up that area. But all I can say is allow your true, authentic self to come forward and to move past any of the barriers that you may have had in your life about voicing your own opinion and voicing your own thoughts. And one of the challenges of this area is lies to others and lies to ourselves. So as the world is opening up into the 5th dimension, because this is the 5th chakra, we are going to have the divine truth come forward more. And that is what people are getting more in touch with. Because as the deceptions and the lies start to be brushed away, and for people to move past just speaking inauthentically and living life inauthentically as a whole, then we are going to be moving into the divine truth and speaking more from the heart and speaking more of our authentic, true divine nature. So we are in very exciting times indeed, and that's what the fifth dimensional society entails, is authentic truth coming from everybody. Can you imagine that? I mean, a totally truthful society is something that is based on dreams of many people who dream of a better world. And that is where the future can head to if people awaken and move all of their consciousness into those higher areas of the chakra system. If you are interested in opening up this area, the seed mantra for that is HAM, H-A-M, and you can focus on this area with the Elven correlations of imagining the music from the Anurs, singing yourself, anything that has anything to do with sound and vibration. So the movement of the water as well as the sound of the rushing water. Sometimes the sound from the sea, the sound from the ocean is very, very calming to people. So there must be something within the frequencies and vibrations of the waves that actually do soothe people's soul. And so you can imagine that, and that's what you can kind of relate to as an Elven one, and especially Elven singing, because Tolkien said that the Elven singing is something that you do not want to miss. So Hanan Lay for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.